This is what we want to to do for our people. Of course, on our part, we are saying the people of Mfulira and the people of the Copperbelt deserve better. They deserve attention. All these things that have been stopped deserve attention. So at the end of it all, as PF, we surround ourselves around this idea that we need to take development to the people. And these ideas, we as PF will overlook the differences that we have amongst ourselves. We will pick a leader and run with this vision, this pro-poor vision that responds to the aspirations of our people on the ground. This vision...
We're
Yes.
going to discuss some key thematic areas such
Yes.
as mining, health, and agriculture.
Yes.
But let us move on further. In a few days, the PF is getting to the convention, and independent observers are saying you might emerge as leader of the PF. We'll cross the bridge when we get there.
Certainly.
Now, the other question, President Zulu, what is going to happen if you're going to hit a snag at the convention? Are you going to hold back? Are you going to support the candidate who is going to emerge victorious?
In PF, we believe that democracy is a marketplace of ideas. What is at play in PF is that we are competing on ideas as to what ideas are best going to respond to the pro-poor policy that we have as government. Nama candidates, opportunity. Now, as candidates, we have decided to say we are going to rally behind the person that is going to emerge victorious out of this. Because in any event, we are not even competing, as it were. We're just offering ourselves as leaders for the party to eventually lead this country to get to a place where all that we have in our manifesto, the ones that, the manifesto that we have containing the promises that we've made to the Zambians, is achieved. So we are all around an ideology and not individuals. And that is the reason we're going for a convention, so that we can pick a leader. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having a convention if the intention was to split afterwards. So the idea of a convention is to pick the leader, renew the mandate of the leaders, and run with a vision that will develop Zambia.
If you don't win, you drop back your presidential ambition?
For the party and the country, will continue aspiring. Not winning does not mean that you fall back. It means that you've learned one way of how not to do things, and you have to continue fighting on. So we'll continue fighting on to offer leadership to the country and put in our best abilities forward to say, this is the reason we feel as a party that we can have. PF is not short of leaders, and we are a democracy. We don't believe in one way or one after another. We will be able to offer leadership to this country and to the party. There can only be one at a time.
One at a time. Let's now dwell into your agenda for Zambia if you are given that opportunity to be on the ballot next year. Let's start with the mining sector, Honorable Zulu. Everything has to do and be centered on mining. Zambia's GDP is dependent on the mining sector. How do you describe the mining sector, the performance of the mining sector this far, and what is your agenda if given a chance to get into State House regarding mining?
So far, the mining sector is on its knees. With the prices of copper, the prices of gold going up, what is it that we are benefiting? Let's look way back into history. The time Zambia got its independence and the mines were being run, when ZCCM was at its top, we saw that the development on the Copperbelt was top-notch. The roads on the Copperbelt were good. The provision of services was good. The support to our sports fraternity was good. What has happened now? Everything has been going down the drain. worse now than ever before, because we have put individuals that have an interest in that mine for personal benefit to take over the reins of power. What we have to do is have patriots take over the reins of power. Patriots will put the needs of Zambians first. And we are saying that how can Zambia benefit from the mines? We need investors. We have no quarrel with that. But this investment that we are bringing in, for whose benefit is it coming in? We have seen that over the years, the so-called investors that have been brought in have always been posting negatives in terms of profit. Takwaba we muntu uleshitisha tumbua every day ulepanga losi, but you still continue ukushitisha tumbua. It means there's something wrong you are doing, or you are duping the Zambian people. Takwaba, where we favor the mines and say we are going to give you these tax incentives, and yet there is no beneficiation on the communities. Abe kalamma mine, vash mine, finish balesanga mumma mine. Mwewe kala kumfulira, mwewe kala kundola, kukitwe, kuchirira bombwe na kuchingola. Finish mlesanga mumma mines. We have to measure development by what people are benefiting from the mines. Twaumfireko umlandu where the Zambian government won uku London, where $1 billion was supposed to be given to the Zambian government. What deals have they struck that up to now this $1 billion has not been paid to the Zambian government? What deals has this government struck that KCM has been given back to Vedanta? What deals have been struck? When we said we want beneficiation for the Zambians, apo uko ama dam sites ayaliko, which were benefiting the Zambians. As PF, we said, let's create cooperatives that are going to be benefiting from these dam sites. What have we done? We have pushed away the cooperatives where people were benefiting, the communities, the local communities were benefiting. Twapela ma Chinese, twapela bantu bambi. So our people have nothing to do. And because they have nothing to do, the levels of crime have only gone up. We had said, what is going to be the level of participation in mining for our people? If they can't participate, say in dam sites, using AMA cooperatives like we had done before, you may be aware of One Pride, one of the cooperatives that was being used, and that resulted into beneficiation of the communities. What has happened to that? Instead, we have seen people come all the way from Lusaka to go and mine on the Copperbelt, moving out those that were local. We have seen people, in terms of procurement, it's favoring people that belong to the UPND, who know nothing about the mines. Copperbelt, we know that, okay, the one who supplies this product to the mines is this one. The one who supplies this other product is that other one. Mwasanga bonse, tabami pede. When you check, you find that all chita supply one government. Is that what we intended to do? Is that what the plan was? That we change government so that the beneficiaries are government officials or party officials? That's not why we changed government. People changed government because they thought a better solution was going to be given to the problems that they were having than the one that was being provided for. But so far, abantu balanda tuweshe ku PF ofyo baleshta fyali ko ifyamano. But over and above what we planned to do as PF, there is more that can be done. Why don't we restrict procurement to locals in this case? Why don't we allow participation of the locals in procurement fully so that there's benefit to the people that are living in those areas? Like what happened in Chingola recently. We know that the people were complaining about Sensedi more than they were complaining about the market. Yes, if you are market, Phoebe, our markets should not be burnt. When they are burnt, government should be able to respond. But even in those markets, the business had gone down. Business went down because abantu abarechita benefit ku Sensedi uko. were no longer benefiting from Senseri because other interests had been put ahead of them. Local people have been put aside. So if local people do not benefit from the mines, Vashmain Tawarisha benefit from the mines, there is no one who's going to go to the market and buy anything. People need to have money in their pockets before they can buy. It's for that reason that Vasatabarantile more money in your pockets. That money was supposed to be gotten from opportunities that are made available to the people there. So in the areas of mining, if into what God if ma kusenseruko. Government should be the one to buy. That's what we had said. We said government should be the one to buy so that when government buys, twasunga mu Bank of Zambia. If we back our currency with gold, kwacha yesu kuti gain strength. Nga kwacha gain strength, it means that the buying power of the money that you have is going to be stronger, and that brings down the cost of living. Because indarama shesun shakwata amaka. Apa indarama tashakwata amaka iyo. Echo tashakwatira amaka. It's because there's nothing to back our currency. All we are saying is that awe inengana isapo na kwateshna isuma indarama kwacha ikafuma pali 17 kwacha opoyari ikesa pali 12 kwacha na pali 3 kwacha. If you are to lie. But is that what is happening? That's not what is happening. And we, as PF, we had started this program to say, let gold be bought by the Bank of Zambia. We have gold reserves to strengthen our kwacha. That was going to enable us to pay our debt. We're not going to be crying about debt. We had a plan to settle this debt, and we had started implementing this plan. But what have we seen? Instead of government being the one to set up a plant, a gold processing plant, it's private persons that are setting up. Those in government, Evaleshta set up a gold processing plant. Uko Kumumbwa, they set up a gold processing plant costing about $22 million. $22 million. But Bank of Zambia cannot quota $22 million to process gold. And we can be able to process the gold, keep the gold in our reserves, buy from our people whom we give opportunities to allocate a program in mining where we used to give equipment to people that were exploring gold. We would give them equipment as government, let them find the gold, and we buy from them. What has happened? All this is being done by government officials. They're the ones that could do buy every week, gold, instead of benefiting the Zambians. It's government officials or party officials who are benefiting from this.
I want you to shed more light, Honorable Zulu. You talk about benefits. The local people should benefit. Just touch more on that. Are you saying that if given an opportunity to be the Republican president, you are going to introduce measures to restructure the mining taxation regime? And I also want you to touch on casualization in the mining sector.
Okay. So the most efficient way that we can create employment is to look at the local resource that we have. Ukokumigoti, the local resource that we have is copper and other minerals that are there. Now, if that is going to be what we have, why should we have casual workers in a resource that is the first in the country, in a resource that is supposed to change the fortunes of our country? Why should we have our people be subjected to being casuals when the resource that we're saying we want is the one that is the most important for the country? Why is it that we want others to benefit more from our resources and we remain with crumbs? That is not the case. These incentives that we're giving to mining companies, are they balanced to ensure that Zambia benefits and they also get their measure of profit? Takwa abafya kutirati ama equipment balereta at no, we won't charge you VAT, we won't charge you import tax on these issues. We give them that incentive. And then after they mine the gold, or indeed our copper, we tell them, don't pay taxes. We remove the mineral royalty tax. We remove the windfall taxes. These are taxes that are supposed to build our hospitals. These are taxes that are supposed to enable us take care of things like load shedding. Load shedding it's also affecting the local people in our communities, because the investment that we're supposed to put in that sector is coming from the very mines that we are giving away. Giving away, I'm saying giving away because we are selfish in that the ones that are giving this for being corrupted are willing to get very little for the benefit of the miners, to the detriment of Fwebene Vamigot, Fwebene Vama minerals. These minerals are very important for us, and they are the answer to most of the problems that we are having. Like we have said, we're going to balance the issue of debt using gold as a backup. We're going to make sure that our local communities benefit by making sure that priority is given to the Zambians to supply to the mines and get paid. We're going to ensure that this transfer of skills, takwaba opotwambilama mines, to learn that we still need expatriates until this time. Why do we need expatriates until this time? Benatawa kwa takopa kumyawo kubafu minakudia. Babasha nama expatriates. For copper, we can't produce expatriates. As a matter of fact, in terms of copper production, we should have been the ones exporting human resource to other countries that have copper for them to benefit from Zambians, because Zambians will have experience. They have experience because now bakwata copper. Since now bakwata copper, babomba mumigoti. Eba ishwa fionsefyo muntu engeshi bapali copper to be able to go out and work elsewhere. Instead, the experts that are coming from countries that do not have copper. So, that's another opportunity that we've not explored to the best level ever. Our students in schools, in universities, when it comes to industrial attachments, are supposed to be getting that from our mines here. But we have our students going to places like Congo to get attachment to my mines, and not in our very own, because our mines yari sula. In places where mwenye ewashita mine, you find that the majority of the workers ba mwenye ngaba sungu, the majority ba sungu. What has happened to our local resource? What has happened to our people that are living in those areas? What is the School of Mines for at the University of Zambia when there is no employment for those that are going there? Kwali baba kuskulu for metallurgy, and yet they can't find any places kuma mines. Tafile panga sensitive. So we have to put in that aspect of local content in the mining area. What is the percentage of local content? What is the share that we are going to have as Zambia in this? It is not wrong to renegotiate a mining agreement. Botswana has done it, and they are benefiting from that. But the country needs to benefit as well.
Not there on mining agreement, Honorable Zulu.
Yes.
That's a very stance. You say it is not wrong to renegotiate mining agreements.
Yes.
It brings me to my question. What is your position on the two local mines, KCM and Mopani? Previously, we voted other opposition leaders, and their stance has been, if they formed government, they were going to take over these two mines. As Makebi Zulu, what is your position on KCM and Mopani?
See, when it came to KCM, the idea of placing KCM under liquidation by the PF was for purposes of finding a suitable investor who understood that local beneficiation was primary in our understanding. And you may agree with me, those that dealt with the mine, that the time the mine was under liquidation, people started getting paid. Those that had not been paid for a very long time started getting their money. Of course, there are things that were working in the pipeline that did not come because we got out of power. But by this time, we were going to ensure that KCM was as viable as it can possibly be. Abawa liponomba, we agree with PF that Vedanta, if MEPO, that's what they had said. Then the moment they came in, there was one press briefing where bakateka balandirati awe abantu barebe pobufi ati yo Vedanta ideisa takese Vedanta tatulande fili fyonsena Vedanta. Then the next thing, vaingira in parliament at yo, I'm proud to announce that Vedanta is back. Okay. Now, since Vedanta is back, who knows what agreement was struck? Do we as the people know what agreement has been struck? And who are the beneficiaries of that agreement? Can anyone say that number it's better than it was before? Can anyone say that? I have not heard of anyone saying that it's any better. Mopani was ours. Mopani was given back to government. And government was to find a suitable partner to run Mopani with. What has happened? Kwaisama company, not Atwa Ishwama company. We're a company without any assets, a company which was recently incorporated, comes and takes over the mine, and they're saying, Barefo Congole Ndarama, Kuma Bank, I had Munomu in Zambia. We thought investors were going to be coming into Zambia with money. We thought investors were going to come in with money, proper money for us to see that this money is coming for investment in our country. Now, but I'm trying to negotiate with our local banks. So that Tushte develop mine. Is that the investment that we want? Why is it that these people who come to invest, when they bring in money, they only bring in money for salaries? The profits that they make on those minerals that they sell, they don't come in. Takwa investment ya kutirati. If it's some country, shama salaries, now shama salaries for casuals. We can't run an economy like that. We can't be selfish in the manner that our wealth is being distributed. Every day we hear of discoveries of places with minerals, new explorations coming on. But what has been the benefit on our economy? We have not had that. And mainly, this is because the people that we thought were better negotiators have only negotiated for personal benefit. That should not be the case. They've only negotiated for themselves to have a stake in these areas, and nothing that has been going down to the people. It's for that reason that Kulin Salam Copperbelt, people are hungry because there's nothing for them to do. Projects that were started have been stopped. They could have been funded from the very mining investment that we have. The power situation, we could have been, it can and should be funded from the mining profits that we are making, the dividends that are being declared from time to time. Proper declaration, not if you have a fifitura and but we need a system that is going to be robust, a system that holds everyone accountable, both government and investors accountable to the Zambian people, so that beneficiation is to the Zambian people. That is needed. So if you machipsha, to learn that if you're unsafe, it circles around the policy that you put in place, renegotiating bad contracts that you negotiated. KCM and Mopani, what are they contributing to our economy? Are we able to measure to say if we contribute to our economy? As far as we are concerned right now, the mines are not benefiting anyone, except those that have brought in these investors and the very investors themselves. We need a proper plan, a proper transparent plan. If it means Zambians are going to buy shares in the running of these mines, let's give it to the Zambians to hold shares in those mines, so that we can see a direct benefit to the Zambians. Let government account properly for how they negotiate the contracts, so that we know that what we're going to get from these mines is going to be so much this year. What we anticipate to fund our budget coming from our resources is going to be so much. We can't forever be begging kuba nenso aba bakufyala.